Wunda chair. So I'm going to do heels, footwork heels. And in the pictures, they have the fingertips here. You could do port bras if you want to. So you're pressing down. And I have pretty heavy springs on right now. So I'm barely able to get all the way down. And I want you to have nice control here so that you can work on making your knee a bit smoother. So you can do parallel heels, parallel toes, V-position heels, toes, same as the other pieces of equipment. So just for example, here's open V. I can really feel my hamstrings here. I'm in neutral pelvis, so I have a bit of a lumbar curve here. I'm not shoving forward, I'm not rounding back. I'm really trying to make sure this happens in my hip joints. I have 2 red springs on, and I have those 2 red springs on the highest hooks in the back. It's a little hard to see, or you can't see it at all, but we'll show in class how that works. And then for calf raises, I really like this because it really focuses on a specific part of the calf. So I put the ball of my foot on the foot pad here, on the pedal. And when I put that soft part of my knee just below the kneecap, on the edge here, and then you just press through your foot. It's challenging. And you can feel on the eccentric phase where you slowly bring it up, there's a little shake that might happen. Your foot might have a little surprise. So that's calf raises. And then we'll go right into abdominals here. And I'm going to take one of these off. And right now I have the foot pedal together, but this foot pedal, you can undo this piece and split it so that it both sides of it work independently. But right now I have it together. So here it's called standing pike, and I can start standing, take a roll down. It's a point at which your hands can touch the pedal, and then here I'm drawing the abdominals in and up to press the pedal the rest of the way down. And then I draw my abdominals in and up to roll up. It's kind of like an assisted roll up. It's really nice. And then you have to work a bit to go on the way down. So now I'm going to do cat stretch on the chair. So I can start standing on my knees here. And I begin by rolling down. And you're trying to keep your hips over your knees as much as possible so they don't drop all the way back right away. And then this supports you, the pedal, as you extend. So I'm flexing, 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 and at some point I really flex up my hip joints and extend my spine. And I've hit the bottom. But if you really want to work stability, you won't actually rest on the bottom like this. But I like to do the first one like that so I can feel where it is. Rolling up, drawing the transverse abdominis in plenty. Coming all the way up. And you can also not come all the way up each time. So if I want this to really be just about pulsing through my abdominals to prep for the full pike, I can work this space here. And again, that full extension. So just play with it. Enjoy yourself. Draw the transverse abdominis in. Take your way up. And now for the full pike. You're going to want more assistance on this, so I'm adding the other red spring to start, because I'll do it more than once to show you. So I've got 2 full red springs on the top. I'm going to put my feet on the foot pedal. My hands are at this end. They're not here, they're more toward this end. And then I want to bring my shoulders forward over my wrists. And then I'm going to draw my abdominals in nice and deep and make my way up. And it's really, the magic is in the top half of this. I draw my abdominals in and lift up. Notice that I'm really dropping my head here. Full pike. You can also do a twisted version of this where I take my left foot and put it on the right side of the pedal and my right foot on the left side of the pedal. And so that my pelvis is facing the left toward you and my shoulders are lined up with the seat. So I'm twisted. So it's a bit more of an oblique version of this. And I can feel lateral flexion happening on my right side too. So even though a full pike is in the abdominal category, I still feel like it's a full body integration on the Wunda chair. So put it in whatever category you want. Try it, see what you feel. And we're going to do torso press sit now. I'm going to do it and you're going to watch it. So I'm going to put my hands on the pedal and I have one red spring and it's on the lowest of the settings in the back. I sit pretty far back, so I'm pretty close to this edge. And I'm going to put my hands back facing this way. Facing this way, you could try it if you want to, but it feels better facing this way. My legs are extended long. And I'm neutral. So you see how I had to adjust my pelvis there instead of dropping back like this. I'm neutral. My head is more or less in line with my spine. And I drop back as far as I can comfortably. I like to drop my head a little bit back as well. But it just depends on how much your neck likes that or not. And then coming up. So it's a lot of movement at the hip joint and the shoulder joint and some stability in my neck. It can get tired, so find a position that feels good for you and you can go ahead and flex in the neck if that's needed. So that's full body integration, torso press sit. Next, we're going to do seated triceps. So I'm going to go ahead and add a red spring on the other side. So I have both sides sprung. I have 2 springs on here. So I have this little black wedge to lift me a bit in this. You'll see, I think she's on a yoga block in the picture. And I'm going to do triceps seated again. So feel how, or notice how this is pulling my arms up behind me. I have 2 red springs on the lowest setting in the back. I can really feel a nice stretch here. And then I simply press down. Drawing the abdominals in. I would do this looking in different directions so you don't get too rigid, to feel if I look over here, what does that ask of my shoulder joints? So that's triceps seated. I'll come around this way as triceps prone. I love this. I'll also show you swan. So to start, I find neutral. So I could be letting my belly hang off, or I could draw my abdominals in. So you're going to draw the abdominals in so you can find that neutral. So I can come down and kind of find the bottom, and then I can come up and find neutral. And so you just do a little push up here and you'll feel the work is in the back of your body and in your triceps. If you split the pedal, you can do one side at a time. It's really fun. I'll show you that in a minute. And then while we're here, I'm going to show a back extension called swan. I'm really inhaling on the way up. Really my whole spine extend. Feels really nice. Enjoy, swan. I could be like a swan right now. How can I do that? Like, just kind of going around the water. Yeah. Basic swan. Just checked on my computer. It's basic swan. And so that's back extension, basic swan. We also did triceps seated and triceps prone. Hi there. Okay, you see me? I don't know. Can you even see me up here? Backward facing dip. So that's what these wonderful arm supports are for. I've got the 2 red springs on the lowest setting, but you can play with this in terms of how much of your body weight you want the pedal to relieve. And it's just your basic dip. If you flex your feet, you'll have more range of motion in your shoulder joints. That's backward facing dip. So now I'm going to do a few leg work exercises on the Wunda chair. And they are hamstring curl, standing leg press, and standing lunge. So my bottom's like a foot maybe away from the base of the chair. And I'm going to lie down, put my heels on in parallel, and simply press down. My knees stay above my hip joints. And this is harder than you would think. I have 1 red spring on the highest setting in the back. But play with this. Play with your distance and play with what targets your hamstrings best in terms of what you're after. And then the standing one, I'm working for a lot of stability in my standing leg and neutral pelvis. But the ball of my other foot of my gesture leg on the pedal. Make sure you're not leaning too far or dropping your pelvis out. I'm going to bring my arms out to the side so you can see. And here again, I'm trying to activate my hamstring. It seems like it'd be easy to just step down, but if you keep the weight on your standing leg, it's a surprisingly challenging isolation for your hamstring. There's a lot of stability stuff going on here. So now I'm going to do the forward lunge. And I have 2 springs on the highest setting in the back, so I have a lot of assistance for this one. And I'm going to press down, standing on the pedal. And then I'm going to put actually I'm going to do the other leg so you can see the other leg. Put my front leg right just to the left of center. And I want to keep my knee right in line with my ankle and toe. And I don't want to lean too far forward in order to stand. I'm using these to assist me on this first one. And I like to lift all the way up. Don't miss your foot on the way back down. And you can just focus on this part of it if you want to. Keeping your hips nice and even. I really feel this in my left glute. Again, if I lean forward, it's a different thing. Yeah? And then finally, I'm going to do lateral flexion. So I'm going to do this with just 1 red spring. So I get to let this leg hang over the front here. Put my left hand on the foot pedal. My right leg is extended out long, all the way like a diagonal. And then I just reach over, side over. And I'm receiving assistance from underneath here. And I love to come up here and balance. I don't think the book shows that, but you know, it's fun to mix it up. So I come over. Ooh, feels really good. And then I come up. And I like to also take an extra breath here. Sometimes you can keep your hand here. I don't know if you can see my abdominals here, but drawing the transverse abdominis in and reaching, coming a bit higher. And then when you're coming over, if you inhale and exhale, and I'm really letting the weight of my right leg here help assist my stretch. And then coming up. So you can make it a little bit harder to come up by putting a blue spring on and making it a bit lighter. But like all of them, play around and see what feels good for you. And more importantly, with any of these exercises, you know, just feeling what helps you accomplish the goal that you're trying to accomplish. If it's about stability, if it's about mobility, if it's about looking around, if it's about getting ripped, if it's about, you know, being heard in the world, or maybe just